This woman's not a singer, she's not a dancer, she has seemingly no talent, but they gave their hard-earned money to this woman because she called a kid an N-word. So that's very indicative of how a lot of these people see black people. These Haitians are clashing with ICE agents in Brooklyn. When it comes to American blacks, you got a lot of patriotic, right winger American blacks. A lot of these people, a lot of these, hardline MAGA people, it's not necessarily Trump supporters, but MAGA people are a bit more extreme, we'll say. They can't tell the difference between y'all and Haitians. So the question is, will this new deportation strategy against the Haitians, will this end up being weaponized against Black Americans? A lot of these non-American Blacks will come into the country and realize how the majority of the Black community in the United States behaves. And a lot of these countries that these people are immigrating from, these people are very well polished, these people are well mannered, these people, work hard, and they're met with a community of people that seemingly look like them who are not at all the same culture. I wouldn't say this discrimination between African Blacks or Caribbean Blacks, it's definitely not racial. These people look exactly the same. I'm a Black person saying that. So to the average non-Black, these people look exactly the same. These Africans that came over, they weren't discriminating based on race. They're discriminating based on culture. They see American culture and they don't want to be associated with that.
Telling me that ICE came to Brooklyn, specifically Little Haiti, Flatbush, but they all Haitians, you leave. I guess ICE was trying to detain the Haitians over there, and the Haitians were not going for it. I think that people forget that we were the first ones to be freed. My people got a taste of slavery and said, we can't do this. Wrap this up by tonight. We did. If there's anything that we know Haitian people are known for doing, is fight for what they believe in. And they done beat ICE the fuck up and ran them out of the hood, as they should. Yup, the Haitians beat up ICE. So you can see right here, recent ICE operations in Brooklyn have intensified, particularly in Little Haiti and East Flatbush.
See, and this is something else that a lot of FBAs don't understand. Black Americans don't understand about these countries like Haiti, these countries that are experiencing civil war, like in Africa. A lot of these people very recently have experienced, a lot of wrongdoing towards their people on a national level, right? So she just referenced how Haitian people were the first to be free. This is fact. The Haitians were the first in the Western Hemisphere to really revolt and claim their freedom from the French. They were a colony of France. Haitian people are strong people, and it's not to say that Black Americans are not strong people, but Black Americans, just the culture is different, and for some reason they allow themselves to get stepped on. These are people, referring to Black Americans now, these are people who were enslaved for hundreds of years. They've built much of the infrastructure, much of the foundation, much of the groundwork of America, yet a lot of people will not give them their flowers, if they will. A lot of people don't acknowledge their contributions. If the American Blacks are not careful, they're going to be pushed out. And when I say pushed out, I mean these African Blacks, Caribbean Blacks, these are hardworking people. These are people that stand up for themselves. And they don't get, they don't get lured to sleep by any type of, cultural infiltration or whatever, what have you. So this is taking place in Flatbush.
Community resistance and safety concerns. Y'all see how many people came outside? ICE. You need some ICE. You're outnumbered. Yes, they fought them with their hands and feet and baton, whatever else they could find. Probably a sandal. Somebody probably even had a belt. Point is, you don't fuck with Haitian and every other minority group. Let this be a lesson. You have hands and feet. Use them. And due to all these Haitians that came out and stood together, they successfully ran ICE out of Flatbush. Her. Because we own Flatbush. What is you talking about? We have a whole neighborhood in that bitch. Little Haiti. Y'all got some nerve. I mean, as the Haitians say, and it's literally on our flag, l'union fait la force.
When people look around and they say, oh, these nations are so underdeveloped, they don't build, what's wrong with them? These people are dumb N-words. When you look at these historical events, you see that these people could not have built. It was literally impossible for these people to build. because of how they were put into debt by the French government when they fought for their independence. They were actually put back into debt when the French showed up back on their coast. They showed up at the port and they basically extorted them and said, look, if you don't pay this debt that we're imposing, because we determined that you guys weren't finished being slaves, y'all wasn't done, they put them in excess debt. They ended up having to cut down, hundreds of thousands of trees in order to sell the lumber to try and pay back this debt. Cutting down those amount of trees led to severe erosion every time there was a hurricane or any type of natural disaster. So they experienced extreme erosion because, of course, our modern construction does imitate nature. So nature, tree roots keep the earth stable. The roots are an intertwined, intermingling system, netting, meshing, if you will, that keeps the earth together. So because Haiti did a mass deforestation in order to pay back the French hundreds of years ago, they now lack the amount of trees required to literally keep their island together. Just know there are a lot, and I'm not saying all, but there are a lot of people that are white Americans, right? Right-wing white Americans who see you guys exactly as the same. Y'all the same. It's not but true. The average American, right? They're not well versed in exterior cultures, external ethnic groups. The average person knows Mexican, an Arab, black, right? They're not going to go into, okay, this person's a Saudi, this person's an Afghani, this person's a Somali, this person's a Haitian, this person's a Black American. If you look at September 11th, after September 11th, right? Balbir Singh, yeah, right here. So this is just a testament to how a hateful person, right? A person who is, people like to throw around the term xenophobic. It's the fear of the new, of the newcomer. A lot of right-wing, white communities, they see this gentleman in 2001 and they think that this is a Muslim person. This is an Indian Sikh. This is not even the same religion nor the same nation, right? So the murder of Balbir Singh. Balbir Singh, he was born in 1949 July, was a Sikh American entrepreneur and franchisee. He was murdered in a hate crime in the aftermath of the September 11th attacks. This was September 15th. So 4 days after September 11th, this guy was murdered in a sort of vigilante justice situation. This was the first of several cases across the United States that were reported to the police as supposed acts of retaliation for the attack. Babir Singh Sodhi, who had a beard and wore a turban in accordance with his Sikh faith, was mistakenly profiled as an Arab Muslim. So after September 11th, people were going after men in turbans when Muslim men don't even wear turbans. I'm laughing, but this is this is sad. This is the ignorance of the American right at the time. So now you fast forward, these people don't know. These people don't know the difference. They see one black from Somalia, they see one black from Haiti, and they see another black who's from Flatbush. They don't know the difference. They coming for you. People are coming for you.
Y'all should be fucking acting. Y'all Hispanic people out there just letting them snatch y'all off the street and y'all not fighting back. Y'all just complying. Like, fight back. Nah, I bet you they think twice about trying that shit again, huh? Yeah. ICE went to Brooklyn and Haitians beat them up. Mexicans learn how to fight. All right? Y'all sit there and let these people put cuffs on you and talk about you want someone to fight for you. Haitians know how to fight back. They don't even need us.
These people aren't going to let you just waltz in.
One, in the French colony of Saint-Domingue, which was the wealthiest colony in the world at the time, producing sugar, coffee, and indigo. However, this wealth was built on the brutal exploitation of over 500,000 enslaved Africans. Inspired by the French Revolution's call for liberty and equality, enslaved people launched a massive uprising. Toussaint Louverture, a brilliant military strategist and former slave, quickly emerged as a key leader. He united both enslaved Africans and freed people of color, and used guerrilla tactics to defeat French troops as well as Spanish and British forces that tried to intervene. By 1801, Louverture had taken control of the island and abolished slavery. But in 1802, Napoleon Bonaparte sent 40,000 troops to crush the revolution and
Napoleon's dumbass. He done messed it up.
restore slavery. Louverture was betrayed, captured, and deported to France, where he died in prison. Leadership then passed to Jean-Jacques Dessalines, who reorganized the resistance. Haitian fighters, fueled by a desire for freedom and revenge, decisively defeated the French at the Battle of Vertières in 1803. On January 1st, 1804, Dessalines declared Haiti an independent nation, the first black-led republic and the first country to permanently abolish slavery. The Haitian Revolution shocked the world, especially slaveholding powers like the US and Britain. It remains one of the most important events in global history, a triumph of African descendants over colonialism, slavery, and empire. For right now, Haitians may have won this chess move in New York, but what will they do when Trump sends out Marines or National Guard to Brooklyn?
Coming this fall to a city near you, they're gonna start calling y'all Haitians. Watch. Just watch. Y'all think that ain't coming? Not coming. A woman who called a child the N-word. These people completely, the point is just going over their head. I get it. Okay, the guy filming is questionable. That's fine. But it doesn't excuse this woman's behavior. This woman is unhinged. This was no way to treat a child, right? This was not an adult. I don't care if it was a baby or was a 14, 15-year-old. When you're an adult and you're dealing with a child, you have to be mature. If a kid is stealing out of your bag, you don't know. This kid could have mental issues. Kid could have, special needs. This kid could have a plethora of issues. This kid could be having issues at home, so they're acting out. You don't just call them an NIGGER, right? But that was her knee jerk. That's how she deemed appropriate to deal with a child who is stealing out of her bag. A child. And the response on the internet was very eye-opening to me because I saw people who had no regard for a child. These people don't believe that this is a human being. These people were calling this black child a thief. Don't forget, these are the same people that, what do they want to do with thieves? What do they think the police should do with thieves? You see these opinions, they're all over the internet, right? These people don't believe that thieves should get fair justice. They believe that these people should get popped in the street. So if that's what you believe should be done to thieves and you're calling this child a thief, you could connect the dots. What these people think should be done with this young child just because it's a black child, right? So these are the types of people. And again, this is not white people. These are very fringe individuals, right? But these are the types of fringe individuals who, will be calling ice on y'all. Oh, this woman's not a singer. She's not a dancer. She has seemingly no talent, but they gave their, hard-earned money to this woman because she called a kid an N-word. So that's very indicative of how a lot of these people see black people, that they will give their hard-earned money and attempt to make a random racist woman on the internet a millionaire just because she says the N-word towards a child.